Welcome back to Saga of Three Kings, session number 59, No Stone Unturned. Last session, the group, at the beginning of the session, Shambles was victorious in martial combat with Cameron Belnades, the challenging combatant. He is just. I should have never.
We're doing an intro. You had a
Yeah,
chance to make this
yeah.
not happen.
Okay, so beat her in combat mortal combat is combat. There was no mortal combat, and then they as a group kind of did some things during the evening time, namely going to a black market in the town of Benish and learning about the Bardigan's connections in the town. Um, Raya had an interesting evening and has plans in the morning after awakening and heading that way. Brooklyn has plans in the morning, is intent on going and learning more at the Saculum of Synod. And Shambles, you have a ticket you need to acquire. And Grok, I'll be completely honest, I don't remember what your morning looks like.
That
Yeah,
shield
I'm
stuff.
probably doing a little practice martial arts maybe, just for flavor.
Sounds good. All right. That said, we'll go ahead and start with Shambles. You make your way to the Fighters Guild. Upon arrival, um, you are basically told that a contingent of the Kyrios' guardsmen will be arriving to escort you to meet the Kyrios for your acquisition. They do state that if you wish to bypass this formality, you may. It is your right as Victor, and also your right as a person in Amonrath's court, if you so choose to. Oh God, if you so choose to opt out. So your call. Which one would you like to do?
Hey, Long, I did have a question out of character. Raya and Shambles did trade back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to confirm. I know you were happy with the trade for the time.
There he is.
Andy got it working. But yeah, I'll deal with the pomp and circumstance. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So you spend a couple of minutes waiting, and then a pair of knights arrive. They are very ornately attired compared to the standard militia that you've seen, kind of acting as watchmen in Benish, and the apparent senior of the two, an older woman than the other woman that's present, states, "Please come with me." Um, they walk with you in pretty formal manner. A lot of people seem to kind of like on the side streets and kind of about the town are very focused on this kind of passage. It's a bit more celebrity than you probably had, um, and yeah, you just head east or sorry west until you get to the walled kind of section there and make your way into the estates of the Kyrios. As far as grandiosity, this is the nicest Kyrios manor you've seen so far in your time,
Huh.
in your recollection. You've
Not
definitely,
even a city.
it's not even a city. Uh,
This guy's loaded.
you've definitely not seen them have kind of like a villa and like a surrounding estate. It's usually just a house kind of in town, like in Bluegate, or kind of a house that's basically been renovated for purpose, such as in Purple Light. But the one here, very nice. You're kind of led through the grounds. A number of courtiers are kind of paying attention to you as you pass, and the guards lead you up to what appears to be a fountain made of marble, with a number of different spouts kind of shooting up into the air. As you kind of look at it, you notice that they are kind of spouting out in time. There seems to be some sort of mechanism inside of the fountain that's causing it to do it. But you're seeing that there's actually like a cadence to the water, It seems that the water is kind of coming out and making, with spurts, making it look like there are wings kind of appearing and then disappearing with the water. And the center portion of the fountain appears to be a very large hawk head, with a second hawk head growing out of the back of it, looking in the other direction.
That's the statue in the fountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it appears to be made out of gold.
Nice digs.
A gentleman starts to
I've
approach you.
chosen a different animal personally.
Fair, fair. It's not a raven. I mean, I guess that's good.
Bird's a bird.
you serve someone whose icon was a chick.
It's called playing along.
Fair. Hold on. What? There we go.
Okay.
The individual that approaches you appears to be kind of wearing kind of yellow toga and kind of a purple sash. Set at the sash, kind of linked into it with a simple frog, is a longsword, which has a much thicker blade than you're used to. It does look very ornamentally hung at his waist. It doesn't look like it would be very competently drawable or usable in a conflict.
Like
But-
it's strictly an ornament.
Yeah, but the
I
weapon
would
it's the weapon itself looks like it's made for purpose. It just looks like it's
Right.
being held onto the sash and onto his like attire, very kind of just flippantly. The individual walking up to you nods and says, "You are the one known as Shambles, correct?
That is correct, sir.
And you are the one who defeated the Challenger. From what I understand, the Challenger happened to be none other than Cameron Belnades, one of the Avengers of the Hierophant. So quite a feat indeed."
Idea of her relation to the Hierophant.
Well, he reaches kind of into the sash and pulls out what appears to be just like a slender piece of wood, gives it kind of a look, and then slides it back into the sash, and then looks to you. "You are one of the retinue of the Hand, are you not?
Sir?
Quite a prestigious individual. I do hear tell that he has made his way into my city." And you see as he says that, he kind of says it kind of like staring down his nose at the people who are kind of in earshot.
My city?
And more so the word city. Like,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I get you.
yeah.
I keep forgetting about that little...
That little
bit.
nugget of information, yeah. And everyone seems to kind of like, nod. And a couple people are whispering off to the side. But he continues. "I will have to perhaps meet with him and treat with him. Do you know if he is a fan of tea?"
Can assure you he is. I can't guarantee what his schedule allows, but I'll certainly pass along the invitation.
Perfect. I assume since you served House Amarnath in the contest, that is probably where you and he are staying.
I imagine he can be found there. I understand they had some ideas of something magical. So, hard to nail down those two.
He is a bit of a dabbler in the arcane, I hear. Master Amarnath, that is. Of course, the Hand of Modus would be a dabbler. So, he reaches back into his sash and pulls out that same kind of wooden card and kind of moves over to you and kind of offers it out. This will allow you passage into the grand tournament. And as he kind of hands it over, he goes silent, kind of looking at you, staring you over. Do you just take it, or anything you want to ask him before you do?
I understand the tournament you speak of. It was some time away, correct? Out of character, it was a few months.
Yeah. Basically, it will be on the 15th or the Ides of Akmadan, which is the 8th month of the year, and we're currently at the
Fourth or fifth?
end of the 5th. The 5th is leaning out, yeah.
No, yeah, just sort of nod respectfully rather, and accept it.
He nods. You are, of course, at any time welcome to leave. You have my permission to do so. He says this, kind of looking to the others, and it seems like he's going to like continue. But you notice there's kind of a bit of activity in the gallery, and people start kind of moving away from the area. Do you stay with him, or do you continue? Or do you stay with him for a moment, or do you head out?
I'll stick around.
As, there,
Looks like he's got plenty more.
as everyone kind of exits away, he says, "The main reason I wish to meet with the Hand, if you could quickly deliver the message for me, or perhaps deal with it yourself, you sound more than competent, is ever since the Osmutan Knights moved past Benish, and made their way north to Bluegate to engage with the activities that had transpired. From what I understand, you and yours played a grand part in that. I've been looking at moving towards the Veldlands and securing them for Benish, or just for the kingdom. But the main problem I'm having is that there aren't many willing to head over to the Veldlands because of their reputation."
When he speaks of the the Feldlands,
VELD, Veld.
Veltlands.
Hmm.
That's just the other side of the river,
Yeah.
where the Tower of Asmuton is.
Yeah. If you inquire about them, like not knowing, because it wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
I'd dig for some information.
He kind of surmises that the Veldlands include the lands that Benish is on, and I'll go ahead and move us to the big map. I'll try it. I'll try to. I'll
Good
succeed. So, in the Munis region, Benish is on the northern cusp and kind of middle lands of the Nordveld, which is one of a three-part kind of plains lands. Now, these are really great farming lands due to their lush and grassy nature, and the soil being very, very fertile. The other two Veld lands that he's mentioning are the Low Veld and the High Veld. And the Low Veld and High Veld rest there. He would explain too that there is only really one pathway due to the nature of the Dark Strain River and its kind of nature. The Dark Strain is the river that runs south of the Cloud Lake to the Blackheart.
Separates the Velds.
Correct. And what he explains is that the Veldlands have beneath them there is a very large tunnel structure, and that tunnel structure also rests underneath the Dark Strain. And why that's important is fording a river rather, is normally a pretty easy measure, but because of the nature of these rivers, there's a very large undertow that'll drag things down quickly. Flight would obviously be an easy answer to this, and bridges are something that would be of interest to,
To have one, it looks like.
they do not have one that crosses the Dark Strain. The closest bridge that they have that would basically
Was
get...
the destroyed bridge and
Oh, so that's the one that they're fixing. That's not
Yeah.
over the Dark Strain. That's over a small kind of
okay.
stream, rather.
All right.
All
Okay.
That-
So this
map is
river's
turned 90 degrees, right?
What's that?
no.
Isn't the city map like off by 90 degrees?
No. So the city map is pretty close to accurate, position-wise. If you look at it there, it's literally right. I'm gonna go ahead and snap us back, but just take a gander of that, kind of snap that in your head, and then we're gonna snap back to Moody's. It's kind of like right on the coast.
Okay, I see the stream on the map that you're talking about.
It's not
Very
on,
pale blue.
It's not on the river. It's technically on the bay, Cloudy Lake's southern bay, which then leads into the Dark Strain, which then flows out into the Iker Delta into the Black Heart.
So currently there is a tunnel under this.
There's tunnels, lots of them.
There's a tunnel system under this river.
And basically, it's got a very large drag because the river doesn't just flow out of the Cloudy Lake into Blackheart Lake. It's not like a...
So these are flooded tunnels with the water flowing through them.
Yeah, but basically, Cloudy Lake has got a southwards kind of trajectory. Water kind of flows in that way. But it's not just flowing into the lake. It's also flowing into Urs, like into the planet. Like, it's going down into those systems. So yeah, there's a very flooded under network, which again, that kind of underwater or underground water, I guess it would also be underwater, but the water that's beneath the soil makes that even more like rich and lush for growing. And so.
So what would?
Go ahead.
What would? I didn't catch this guy's name, the Curious.
Oh, of course. This Curios's name, his last name is Wingard of House Wingard. Sorry, no, wrong.
Okay, already forgot.
Nope. I was looking at the wrong city notes.
Okay.
I'm already ready for the next town, if that's where you're heading.
Say.
So, Curious Rebalt Benich.
So, Lord Benich, what exactly, if I may, what exactly are you asking of the Hand of Nudis?
Of course. I would be willing to give you some information regarding pathways that have, in earlier times, been traced through the Veldlands, up from Bellum through Deccan's Divide. The main thing I am interested in doing is securing a presence at the Tower of the Dark Star, which is a lighthouse that has fallen to... yeah, that's right, ping-wise.
Assuming?
Yeah. It has fallen to the creatures of the Velds and the creatures of the Divide. It is a place once secure that sailing across and out into the bay would be made easy. But unfortunately, entering that place, once you... like the tunnel network that rests underneath the Dark Strain, so too is there a tunnel network underneath the Dark Star. The only way to know which entrance to sail into is to sail out of it and note it. We do not know which tunnel we need to sail into to be able to access the Dark Star. So, we have not made the effort.
I think he just told you to go to the Grand Blue.
Not entirely perfect, but I like where you're going with this.
If you do humor him, he doesn't exactly give you like an idea of what the reward for this will be, but he does go over some information with you, and I'll go ahead and outline it pretty simply.
That could come whenever. My answer is going to be that I can't promise anything, but I'll bring it up with the Hand and my other fellows of the retinue as we somehow started getting called.
I've already handled the business of the notes.
Okay, sorry.
You should see. Yeah, I was just going to say it should be highlighted now. You should see a bunch more roads and notes. Yeah. Shut up. Perfect. He would explain to you that the name of the city in the jungles is not known to him. The only thing he knows is that the people who reside there are the people of the Serpent, and he tells you that they are what are known as the Yuan-Ti, which again in this world are not
necessarily evil.
Correct.
Snakemen.
They're just snake people. All right. Cutting from you. Unless you have anything else you want to say too.
Nope, that was pretty much it. As I don't have an answer for you, I'll bring it up with my comrades.
We'll go to Raya. The place that you were appointed to meet is a statue known as...
Like the gavel or something?
Oh, I was waiting for him. Nope, that's not the one that you were told to meet
the
here.
Foundation? No, that was Foundation, so I was meeting the other girl.
That's where you're meeting
I
the
don't
girl.
remember the name of the statue.
No worries. It's the statue of Padraig Benich. And so it's number 7 on the map. And basically, you are pretty sure you saw it out of the corner of your eye when you kind of were on the northern side of the town. But this is the first time you're kind of seeing it in its full scale and scope. It stands on a 30-foot tall kind of dais, which is completely like marble white. The statue atop it appears to be kind of glossed over with a green patina, presuming to you that would be made out of copper or something to that effect. He has one hand lifted up towards the sky, and in that hand he's holding a sword of the old style Osirian legates, which is basically kind of a gladius held up towards the sky. And in his left hand he appears to be holding open a book. As you're kind of approaching it, you can see that a lot of the details have kind of worn, but the one main detail that's remained is that the book appears to have the Cross of Octavius upon it. Underneath, there's a bunch of, like, I'm trying to think of the word, brass sheets that are tacked onto it, and those are called the thing. My God. Signs or informational documents regarding the individual, but not too far from where you kind of enter into the area.
Like a plaque?
Plaque, that's the word I wanted. That is the exact word I wanted. Did you Google it?
No, I was...
Oh.
After you called it a sign, I was like...
Oh,
I thought you meant it was like attached to the actual statue. I was like, oh, that is a weird thing.
I thought they were hanging roadsides from it, like
no.
way to the tavern.
I was having a hard time Englishing.
Disrespectful.
Sorry, I sometimes forget. Now, since
I forget words all the time. It's fine. It just caught me off guard.
Since you and Rooklyn are kind of heading in the same direction from the house, do you go together and then split off at the statue, or do you go separate?
Oh yeah, we got to keep our hours together.
Okay. So you would see, Raya, that there isn't really anybody in the area that kind of strikes you as the person you're looking for. Do you want to take any time to read any of the signs, the plaques, or do you want to just act casual and make some kind of notice that you are who you are?
I'll read it, I guess. It sounds like you really want to tell me something, so yeah, I'm going to read these plaques.
That's perfectly all right. So Lord Padraig Benich is the person who established the city of, or the town of Benich. It appears that he was a third cousin to the King of Thunder, of Liberus, who you currently have an idea who that person is, and you understand that lineage. You also note that there was bad blood amongst his ancestors and the people of Seriu to the south, due to their conflicts during the Osiria-Seriu wars of long ago. And you can see that Padraig is known mainly for his combat prowess, his architectural study, and also his grace. And based on what you can kind of discern from this, the large Seriujan community in Benish is due in part to a trade or a kind of like a exchange, cultural exchange between the people of Seriu and the people of Osiria, specifically this city and its sister city. And these plaques denote that sister city is known as Singu.
Neat.
Which you as a player should recognize because it's where your character came from. You're not your current character. You're
the A side of this track.
The A side of this track. Right. Okay. Just making sure.
Oh, pre-elf?
No. Sorry, not this character. The
John.
character from Moons Remorse. Yeah, John.
When I tried, this is just a remake of this character.
Yeah,
Right.
it's awful similar to John.
This one's not as fun.
That said, do you have any conversation with Rooklyn? Rooklyn, do you hang around a little bit until you get shooed off by Raya? Or,
I would just have to find the general direction.
South from the statue.
South from the statue. Okay. I guess Rye seems like he wants to do something by himself. I'll go on.
Okay.
I give him the directions.
Yeah. Not too long after, you see a young child kind of come up to you, Brooklyn, throw up a hand sign, which you would note is the Mardigan. Let's just go ahead and say the Mardigan insignia.
Do you mean Raya? I think you said Brooklyn.
Oh wow, yeah, you're getting thrown gang signs.
You're throwing gang signs at the wrong kid.
Brooklyn is scared and alone. He's in a bad
wrong neighborhood.
Raya, they throw up gang signs to you.
I was so hoping you stuck with Brooklyn.
It's a hand can't gesture, and he's basically signaling for you to come with him into the small little forest behind the statue. Once you finally make your way back there, the child does not go that way too long, kind of points and then leaves. There's a small little clearing, and standing kind of in the center of it is a lordly looking individual in white toga with a black sash, and it looks like he is throwing bird seed on the ground, and in this kind of clearing is surrounded by birds. Before you kind of get into sight, he says, "Would you like me to call you by your real name or by your identity?"
Take one.
All right, Raya. He turns and kind of looks at you. This man is, he has blonde hair, kind of a youthful looking face, but you can tell that he's probably in his 40s. Kind of like a grown toddler, almost. And as he kind of turns to look at you, he places his hand on his chin, his other hand kind of holding the bag with the seed in it, and he says, "You wanted a meeting with me, and I wanted a meeting with you, since you are my guest in this town, city, civilization. How may we start? How may I serve you?"
Oh, nothing major, just a minor inconvenience, really. We were visiting the market the other day, and we noticed my traveling compatriot, his symbols on some of your wares, and I can't have him looking weak, as though his things have been stolen.
So you mean the Hand of Mudis, correct?
Indeed. If you strike that mark and add another one, I'd appreciate it.
Andy, I think you're on free talk, because I keep hearing you typing, and also your chair. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, hold on.
No worries. There was like a loud creaking. I was like,
No, I'm not on free talk.
okay.
I'm on push talk.
All right.
It's not mine. Mine doesn't creak. Try
Fair
it.
enough. Fair enough.
I
So
mute myself.
yeah, no worries. No worries. maybe I was wrong. It's fine. Or I could be insane. He says, if it is a problem, an issue for you and yours, I will of course make sure that we rectify the problem as quickly as possible. The current wares that are available will be pulled back, altered in a manner. Do you have any other mages that might serve as a appropriate foil for the matter, or no?
I mean, you just need a name for legitimacy, right?
Preferably one of a person who is still alive and could be tracked to, which is why we want to utilize the hand, but understandable.
I get that one. So I just crossed paths with a guy named Jimmy up north in a lighthouse. Seems to be able to hold his own in the magic field. But I don't think anybody knows him, so it's probably a strong enough sign there.
Well, alright.
No, it wasn't Jimmy. What was his name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Jerry's the one I want. Oh, no, Jimmy's the cleric.
You see him kind of drop the bag, reach into his sash, and pull out what appears to be kind of a small leather-bound book. He opens it up, pulls out what appears to be a pencil, quickly writes a note, pulls the page out, the loud tear, and then places the note off to his side. You watch as the note appears to be taken by nothing and disappear. He shuts the journal, applies it back into his sash, we'll see what we can do.
Excellent.
Now regarding my request,
How can we help you?
well, I'm having a manner. I'm having a matter that I want handled, but I want it handled very specifically, very delicately. And from what I understand from your reputation, you are a very notable assassin.
Notes have been taken.
You see him kind of slightly tap his sash. I need you to kill a member of the Council of Coin.
Damn.
I will not continue any further if you are opposed to this objective.
Oh, I'm never opposed to ending a diplomat, but I do have business with them.
It doesn't matter when they are killed, so long as it's before the Iron Road makes it all the way to the capital of Munio.
Which one's Capital Munio?
Really far out, so I'd have to go to the big map to show you. It basically
South?
northeast. It's like way up that way.
Okay. That ought to be doable. I do have a couple places I personally need that Iron Road would go, but nowhere near there. So.
Well, perfect. If you are agreeing to the matter, then I will give you the full details.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
I can give you the out of character, slipping into John Dupre mode. I can give you the details here in character, or I can slide them to you in the side at a later time.
Nah, we'll do it on the side. It's more fun that way, because Andy's just going to make pouty faces at me the whole time.
Perfect.
I probably would.
Cutting from you to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, as you approach, you definitely are kind of like, at first, passing the first couple of buildings. Wonder which one.
Done?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, because I'm going to make my eggs and be like, I got a guy if you want to deal with this bird problem.
Bird
And
problem.
Oh, it's full of birds, man.
You can see that the birds that he appears to be feeding are like, I would say robins. They look like they're very... If you're into birds, they're pretty...
He's not picky. If a bird's a bird. If you want these gone, I'll get these gone.
I prefer them.
For a fee, of course.
I prefer them.
To each their own, I guess.
Fair. Brooklyn, you're kind of like, which one? I wonder which one of these buildings it is. And then you see up ahead what appears to be a circular building that's probably as wide as 4 or 5 buildings. And it stands up and kind of comes to a dome. At the very center of that dome comes up a series of metal spires. And those spires connect to what appear to be a series of rings that are kind of out and about. And you can see that there are lenses in some of the rings that kind of focus outward. The sun hits a couple of them in such a way that the light kind of gleams across the dome. The dome is very brightly colored. Kind of think of like Moscow, kind of like Russian, architecture. And the way the light kind of hits it makes those portions of the dome even brighter. Go ahead. Do you have Arcana trained or no? Okay. So this makes no sense to you. But you are pretty sure that this is something that, Benson would probably be like really fascinated with.
That looks like magic to me.
You would note that the building itself seems to be built out off of the cliff, and it's kind of hanging out over the cliff face. And it looks like the building has an exact replica of it built upside down, with the same kind of spire underneath it and rings, which kind of descend down some, 40 feet, and are kind of above what appears to be like a southern kind of entry point or campus to this massive spire and massive structure. As you kind of make your way up, there doesn't appear to be anybody stopping you or barring you from entering, and the doors at this hour are open.
I'll do it like a gentle knock and peek in before I go in.
Yeah, the doors are too wide open for you to, like, it would be, like, it's a very open kind of campus that you're moving
it's
into.
not like just like a creek open, it's just a full walk in, walk out kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be more like you're kind of walking into, like, a massive, like, what's the name of the train station in New York? The really big one.
Grand Central.
Grand Central. It's like walking kind of in the main entrance of Grand Central versus like walking into, a regular building. But yeah, a bunch of people are kind of moving about in this area on the inside. Probably a couple of packs of maybe 3 or 4 individuals, maybe a grand total of about 50. But each one person, there's no individuals. They're all kind of grouped together. And you do see that well off in the distance, there does appear to be a desk kind of on its own. And that's the only lone individual that you see. Someone's standing behind the desk, a very tall individual. You note that most of the people in this place are wearing the same outfit, which is a blue robe with gold trim. And those same people also, male, female, non-binary, all of them are shaved completely bald. Even if they are, there's a tabaxi that apparently has had, just the top of their head. Everything else is still covered with fur, but the top of their head has been shaved clean. So it's like one of those.
I stick out like a sore thumb here.
Yep. Some people take notice of you, but again, not too terribly many are terribly concerned with you. Are you moving towards the desk, or are you going to try and approach them?
Yeah, I'm assuming the desk is like the main area, so I'm gonna walk towards them.
Yep. The person sees you, kind of smiles. Brooklyn.
Yes.
Hello. You were expected.
Do you know where I can find the information on soul wells or anything of that nature?
Information at the synod is not sought in typical manner. We are not a reliquary of knowledge or a distillation of words and stories, much like the association. No, we deal with verbal tales. So you wish to know more about soul wells?
Yes.
Perfect. If that's the case, I would suggest that you speak with Brother Zenas, and gestures off towards an individual who is talking with a couple of other people, and seems to be kind of pointing directly at Zenas.
Okay. Thank you.
And it's spelled just like penis, but with a Z.
Gotcha. I guess I'll walk towards that guy then.
You hear him kind of talking to the other brothers, and it sounds like he is speaking in Elvish. If you're not fluent, you have no idea what they're saying. You are?
Yep.
Okay, so it sounds like he is talking to them about very vague terms regarding astrological movements. He's like talking. If you've ever heard somebody like talking about astrology, like house in house, and it sounds like that. I did not do enough pre-research to be able to do the pseudo.
I took astrology, so I mean.
Well, then perfect. If you can do the jargon, do the jargon.
I can't do the jargon. I'm just saying I took it. So.
I didn't. But yeah, he turns to look at you and he goes, "Well, hello." And then you see him kind of close his eyes for a second, then open his eyes. Brooklyn, is it?
It is.
You came seeking information on soul wells?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't have too terribly much information regarding soul wells, since most of them dried up during the Age of Heroes. It seemed that a lot of people were very interested with soul wells during that time because of their potency. You see, drinking unborn souls can cause a person to become invested with their power and more potent, especially during the Age of Heroes, when all souls were granted the divine spark and aspects of godhood.
Out of character, I am thinking of the right thing. This is what my sword wanted me to search for, right?
Soul well.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
But I would say that the only information I really have would be... One second. Let me access the pool and see what I can't get for you. I remember hearing a vague rumor about it, but I can't remember exactly. He closes his eyes and kind of starts just shaking his head. You can see there's a rapid eye movement going on in his eyes. Then he kind of opens his eyes and he goes, "Ah, yes, I remember now. That was the matter. So we here at the my brain just did fire. We here at the Sacculum of the Orrery are members of a much larger group, the Synod. We have a neighboring Sacculum, which is up in the Veld Lowlands. Sorry, let me get the notes right. Don't riff, John. Just do your notes. He would say the Nordveld, just near where the swamps and where Blackheart Lake meet with the spine of the Veld, which would be this. That is known as the Sacculum of the Bones, in reference to the star signs in the sky. That said, we have lost contact with members of the Sacculum there. They were guardians of something very important, and one moment, allow me to make sure that what I'm telling you is okay. One moment. Closes his eyes for a second. Opens his eyes and looks at you. There is a soul well present at the Sacculum of the Bones. Its purity is to remain as pure as can be, and knowledge of it is not something we would like to get out and about, but as I understand it from the front desk, you are a hero of Bansor, correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, being a hero, I would hope that you could find out what is going on at the Sacculum of the Bones, and perhaps make sure that the well has not been spoiled. And if any of our members remain there, they would be more than willing, after you save them, to assist you in any information gathering you would desire regarding the soul well.
Very well, I will go gather my party and see if they're wanting to go that way. If not, I might end up going myself, but I'm sure they're cool with me.
One of the women next to him says, Master Rooklin, please be certain to be wary. There were reports of a dragon attack not too far from there. I would make sure you keep your eyes to the sky.
Do you know what kind of dragon or color?
One moment. She closes her eyes, and you see the gentleman you spoke to, Zenus, place his hand on her shoulder. She opens her eyes. It is all right. I know. It was a black dragon named Orbicus. And if I understand correctly, you were part and parcel in the slaying of a grand white dragon.
Yes, we've also ran into the black dragon.
Ah, so you were already acquainted. Well, I would be wary then. But if you were willing to do this task for the Synod, we would be most appreciative. And we may even allow you access to the greater mysteries.
Very well. I will go gather my party and we'll head that way as soon as we can.
All the people around you in unison, and it's really creepy, go, Lamak be with you.
Thank you.
And also with you.
And to you as well.
Yeah. And and when I say everyone kind of around you, it's the people that you were talking to, and a couple of the people that were near you and were listening to the conversation who chimed in.
That is very creepy.
It is very creepy.
Hive minds are not okay.
Huh?
Nope.
Oh,
Hive minds are not okay.
It's not a hive mind. It's a knowledge.
One problem at a time, boys.
It's a knowledge pool. It's knowledge. They're different. All right. And Andy, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Doing the punching, the kicking, the rolling, the
Doing horse
flipping.
stance right now.
Okay. There's no rolling or flipping in the horse stance. You all reconvene.
Constitution.
With
Constitution save.
your
I could do that.
well, we can't
I'm
see you doing
not
it.
trying to tack on things. You know? Don't worry.
We can't see you doing it, so I mean, what's the point?
I got a picture of Grok with Vincent hanging out at the house. There you go.
I love
I
it.
love it.
Oh man. That said, as I mentioned in the preface, Benson has decided to remain in Benish to secure his preschool. I don't mean preschool as like a school before the school.
Yeah, gotcha.
In Benish, as he had mentioned, he was going to do, and says that he can track you. He can find ways to see you, be on site. Specifically, shambles. It says
Sword of Omens?
well, I know he casts scry, especially here.
Not cool. If you're gonna have sight beyond sight, you better have the Sword of Omens.
Fair. He says that he's going to remain. But for you, it's still mid-morning. You're pretty sure that if you were to leave Benish now, you could arrive in the nearest waypoint, which would be here, and you'd be able to glean through conversation the name of this small respite. It is a village that goes by the name of Agios. But you all reconvene, discuss amongst yourselves, whatever you're
Once
planning.
we get back together, I'll let them know that I did glean some information on a soul well, which is like the whole thing I was looking for. And then I'll ask them, because I'm pretty sure Rookin would remember, but not 100%. Wasn't the goddess we met in that tunnel towards Mount Rubia named Lamak?
Sure was.
Oh, you want to know about Lamak?
Yeah, the people that I just met with.
Have you heard the good news?
And they asked me to do them a huge favor, which they would grant us a massive amount of information, is my guess of what they were leaning towards, to meet up with some of their old members they lost contact with, which is also where the soul well is. And we have, it is in between the Northwell and, what was that mountain range called?
It's the Sacrament of the Bones.
A Sacklum of Bones.
It is, if you look at the Modus region now, you can see Agios, which would be the next kind of stopping point in the travel south, and the Sacklum is right kind of north of there.
It's kind of on the way. I do like doing stuff for Lamak.
This
We also have to watch out because they did say that the Black Dragon was around that area and did have attacked somewhere.
Yeah, he lives over there.
Croc's ears perk up. It's Orbicus?
Yes.
I hate that guy.
I was also asked by the Curios to deal with that Asmuton place. No, one or two of you got ties to that.
now,
Also, sailing out of it, I think, is a goal.
if you were planning on taking Asmuten, there's two ways you can kind of go about it. The Asmuten port.
I'm sorry. He wanted me to he wanted a sailing route into the Tower of the Dark Star or into Asmuton.
Into the Tower of the Dark Star. So basically, you could enter the Tower of the Dark Star, descend into its bowels, and then
Leave
exit.
out of it and map the way back in.
Correct.
Okay.
And so I was going to say there are two ways you can access the Asmuten port. You can either sail out there, but if the Asmuten have in any way doubled their, or basically,
Regathered.
regathered, you would assume that they would be competent seabound, and it might be a problem to try and do that. You could definitely give it a shot, but if you were able to take the port from sea, you could then move on the roads that have been designated to you, down south through the High Veld, then up into the area where the Tower of the Dark Star is located. Or you can go all the way around Blackheart Lake, through Bellum, up through Deacon's Divide, and then up into the Dark Star, which according to him, and what he stated historically, would be the safer of the two routes. And I want to make sure you understand that. That's how dangerous the Veldlands are. The low Veld and the high Veld are. They're very dangerous territories.
That would also accomplish, we could do like a boom 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 kind of thing all the way around, like a circle.
Yeah.
So, spectacularly
know that the
dangerous about the Velds. Sorry, Andy.
Veldlands are grasslands, right? And
That's
they
right.
often have predators on them. Would we know what kind of predators?
I would say you would not know.
Snake folk.
You would know
No,
that
they're in
those
the
are
jungle
in the
to the
jungle.
west.
Yeah. I would say that you haven't gotten much experience with the Veldlands, Grok, because they are kind of removed. Deccan's Divides kind of blocks any egress unless you follow the very specific paths, and any access to it from the waterways it's limited. You either have to kind of go up into Cloudy Lake and then down into the Osmond port, or up and around.
Okay, but he would know more generally though that it's a grassland and it's often sort of the place where predators roam.
Correct.
Okay, so we'd say that.
Yeah, I'm down to head east if you want to.
I would very.
I'm trying to think.
What'd you learn in your meeting there, Raya?
Oh,
How'd your thing go?
nothing.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Saw some birds. So many birds.
I had a feeling
Got
you
that.
were running with the wrong crowd.
Got that
I was
one
about to
matter.
say, you can't-
That one matter solved.
You can't trust anybody that hangs out with a bunch of birds.
Does it seem like he's lying?
So, what? Does it seem like he's lying?
He's lying.
Well, you know, I have a 20 passive perception. I don't know.
Dude, the dude had a lot of birds, and I got the hand's name taken off of some scrolls.
So, my answer to your question, Grok, would be, when do you ever trust Raya?
All the
In
time
like
should be the
90-10?
answer. All the time should be the answer.
I trust him sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay.
Sometimes is the answer.
Well, there's the answer to your question. Sometimes right now, Raya is lying or telling the truth.
Okay.
All right. So if we're moving from Benish onwards, I will note that when you entered Benish, Grok, your invisible companion kind of faded away. They didn't seem to follow in to
Pseudo dragon.
the pseudo dragon. So you don't know if they're still around or not.
You okay?
The horse.
Also, wasn't there something important with the horses?
The horses are to be left in the town or continued down the King's Road.
Do we get to take the train?
You can inquire about that if you'd like.
And is there a spot for those horses on the train?
You can inquire about the train, but there's currently no train station that you're aware of. They're still building the bridge across Benish or the waterway, and they have yet to. Yep.
Looks like we're footing it.
What's wrong with good old-fashioned hoofing it, Raya?
I just wanted to ride that train.
I do too, bud.
We're putting in so much work to save this fucking thing.
I would someday like to be that train.
Y'all better have like our own named cars we can go to after this. Like, this is the riot train. This is the Rookman part of the train. Nobody else can sit here.
If you're horsing, you would want to follow the King's Road. So any outside of that would probably be looked down upon. Not a good idea. But the next, so Agios is a pretty small hamlet. And then the next, real kind of settlement is Blackheart, the town of Blackheart, which is a small port kind of village.
At the anchor.
Yeah. Size-wise, it's probably not too dissimilar from Banser.
Okay. But we
Towards
needed,
Agios, if you were.
we needed to stop in Agios. That's about as far as we're going to get in today, right?
Yeah, we also check out the
Correct.
Saculum Bubble, which is just above Agnes.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Do we want to go straight to Agios or go to the Saculum of Bones first?
Sounds like Agios is going to be at the end of the day.
If
So if we want to start fresh on the Selim.
If you're on the horseback, you can get to the Saculum of Bones in a little more than half a day. So you'd arrive around 2-ish. Or actually,
Yeah,
no. It's a little later in the day. It's still morning, though. I would say around 4-ish.
So we can whip ass all through the night, or we can go in fresh in the morning.
Leave it to you.
I mean, I'd rather go in fresh just to be safe. We don't know what.
I don't need to sleep. I don't have a vote.
All they told me about it was that they lost in contact with all their brothers that were in there, so we don't know what's in there.
Grok.
Could be doing.
What about you?
Yeah, we don't want exhaustion while we're gutting in there.
Okay. So a ride to Agios will last you for the remainder of the day. You'll arrive there well into nightfall. Since you're riding on horseback, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. I need 5 rolls of the 20-sided dice.
Grok.
Alrighty.
I believe in you.
Here we go.
Damn nice middle of the road
15.
rolling there.
That is
You know
quite,
me.
quite good. Is
Good
Gronk...
old white bread.
Hold the mayonnaise too, Spike.
Slice of bread and a glass
Oh,
of water.
boy.
All right, so you make it to Agios with no problem. The one thing you'll note is as you're passing the Sacculum kind of area, you'll note that it isn't visible. There are clouds, and there's kind of like a pretty high point on these hills, mountainous even. And you can see that there's kind of a series of switchbacks and paths that go up there that probably would not fare well for you to travel up with horses. Agios has a very prominent longhouse tavern known as the Flipped Boat Tavern and Inn. And from what you can tell, it does look like it is a massive seafaring vessel that has basically been placed upside down and broken into to form the structure proper. Entering into it, you can hear a lot of bawdy kind of yells and song. Looks like there's quite a lot of people. You're pretty sure you see a bar brawl breaking out in one corner of the area between a couple of disgruntled and more than likely drunk individuals. The bar is looks like it's being maintained by 5 different people, and it looks like there's at least a dozen, if not more, servers moving about. This place is very heavily populated. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 people therein. And there's music. It's not what we're listening to. It is a bit more subdued than what we were listening to, even more than that. It is just kind of dull and slow. Despite that, everyone seems to have a lot of energy and is initiating through it. But the bard is playing a very soft, just kind of downbeat, almost dirge-like tune. Just rooms and sleep, or do you want to engage with anybody here? And
We should find a place to stable the horses.
Damn it.
If we're not taking them up the mountains. What are you trying to abjure?
Nothing. Ignore that. It's
Fair.
being stupid.
Benson came with us, correct?
No.
No, he's staying.
He's staying in Bennish. Got it.
Yeah, we are without Caster.
correct.
I guess I'll ask around if there's a local farmer or a stable in the area that could
The one of
take
the
in 4 horses.
servers kind of looks at you disgruntled. They've got sweat on their brow. Say, yeah, you can schedule a room there. Any stabling, wagons, horses, whatever. They can handle you there over at the counter. Sorry. And goes off with the server platter that they're going to some table. It looks like a massive amount of mutton.
Probably a party going on or something.
There's a lot of people here.
I don't have any money. Anybody want to stable these horses?
Do we pay to stable these horses as we travel? Aren't they known?
So yeah, they can be left with the messengers. If they're needed in the night, though, they'll be taken by them.
Cocksuckers. Fine, I'll pay for it.
If you walk over to the counter,
Fucking robot.
What's it cost? What's it cost to stable a
the
horse?
gentleman who sees you kind of like
You already owe me.
does one of these.
I know I do. That's why I'm asking. I might have enough.
You're cutting into my awesome bartender.
I'm sorry. Continue.
He does one of these. He kind of like leans on the bar.
Yeah, he's doing that shit.
Kind of looks at you, Raya, as you approach,
I and Robot are just fighting each other.
and he says, "You folks need rooms."
A common room, I guess.
Fucking finally. All right, yeah. Sure.
Nobody buys a room here?
Most of the people here are assholes, really. Looks at, and you see somebody kind of look over at him from like a distance, and he kind of looks at him like, what? And the guy's like, oh, okay, fine. And stops staring. The bartender kind of looks at you and he says, most of them are sleeping out in tents and such. They're builders. Apparently Agios is going to be the next Benish, since the Iron Road runs through it now.
Oh, I wouldn't count on that.
Why?
I mean, it's really hard to get two neighboring cities to be, fighting for status like that. I mean, they're already established.
Well, good. I hope you're right. Because fuck all this. It's garbage. But there's, quite a lot of people who look like they are mercantile individuals. People who are trying to make Agios a thing.
I'll tell you what, you want to spread the word, get some of these workers back to work, what they need to do. Head up to Bluegate. I hear they're going to reestablish Barot out what direction is that, west?
Yeah?
That's where they're going to need some builders.
Good. I mean, yeah, as long as they get the fuck out of Agios. I mean, the only reason we keep this longhouse as it stands is because of, the holiday. But other than that, damn it all. It's such a damn mess. But let me get you set up for your room. Pulls out a ledger and slides it out in front of you. Places a quill, freshly inked, in front of you, and then kind of moves over to what appears to be like a lockbox. Pulls out 2 keys and sets those onto the table. As you sign a name, I'm assuming Zadak Mishrael, into the ledger.
Sir Zadak Mishrael.
Double titles.
You gave them to him.
Sir Saint.
I gave myself one of those.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shame on me.
Fair. He shuts the ledger, closes it, and says,
I got 4 horses to board also.
no problem. He says, hey, Ben! And this young lad comes in, and he says, the horse is up front. Go ahead and put him in the stables. But those are messenger's horses. I didn't ask you to ask questions, Ben. I told you what to do. Do the thing. And it seems like the music kind of stops for a second. Everyone's commenting, goes silent as he looks at Ben like with his cold stare, and you can kind of see the fear in the boy. And he's like, "You got it." And that's
that black background and blank white eyes like an anime.
Yeah. The barkeep turns to look back at you and says, "Yeah, your room's numbers are on the keys there, but yeah, thanks and enjoy. Ben should be really fluffy. Haven't been used in a while."
Great. What do you got for this guy? He likes to drink.
And just starts kind of pouring the drinks and serving them out. Nothing special.
Are you talking about shambles?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like to drink.
But yeah, if you have any questions for him, but it seems like the environment in Agios is kind of strange. There's a lot of people who are wanting to kind of build their own kind of shops, what have you here, so that as the Iron Road comes through, this is a great stopping point for you to kind of get stuff. What they don't understand.
Okay, so they're not builders of the actual Iron Road. They're building up the settlement of Agios.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Independent contractor.
Right.
Yeah. But the more astute of you, mainly just Raya, if you want to go ahead and just make a standard intelligence check.
22.
Okay. You're not sure exactly how far out Bellum is from Agios, Iron Road wise, or how fast the trains will move. But if it's near toward a horse's speed, Blackheart will probably be a bigger place outside of Bellum. Just based on the fact that they would basically re-gear there and then sleep through the dog leg there until they make it to Benish. There'd be no point in restocking or having a restock point in between Bellum and Benish. They're 2 big locations. So basically what you said earlier.
There's going to be a track switch at Blackheart too.
Yeah, and that's going to make it even more important there. That's what I mean to say. Agios is kind of in between Blackheart and Benish, and it's
It's a dead zone.
not important, but these people think it's going to be something big. So, and it's also right on like a swampland, so not good.
Yeah, it's covered in dragon. So
Swamp it, Jason.
Um,
Got everything you want.
it's waterfront property.
Brooklyn, entering into the tavern, are you just going straight to sleep, or do you want to interact with anything that I mentioned that's present?
I need to discover this soul well.
Okay. Focused on the and determined. Shambles putting it to you. Anything in particular you want to invest in? No? Moving on?
Got it.
Okay. And Grok?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Yep, so the night is pretty loud outside. For a lot of it, if you kind of move to go to sleep, it doesn't sound like it winds down until midnight. But it does seem like the bard is trying to keep the mood dour. Like, every song you hear them playing is like the song that's currently playing in the background. It is really sad and really just bad. You hear her telling the story of the Knight Ryan. You hear her telling the story of Gar, the Unfortunate. Like, there's so many bad songs and tales that are being sung and told, and despite that, people are still trying to have a good time. You wake the next morning, place is completely cleared out, and completely quiet.
No, I would have meandered around the room last night. Nothing important, but definitely planting the seeds of trying to get people to go to Baron.
Okay. Oh yeah, perfectly fine. Go ahead and make a deception roll. Although it's not really a deception. Persuasion? Whichever one you're more comfortable with.
I'm a better deceiver.
Go with it.
Get him. What he's working.
11.
11, you said?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It seems like they're very invested here. So similar to the dour music, your attempts are basically falling on deaf ears.
I'll be sure to mention Orbicus too.
Ben comes out to greet you if you kind of exit the room, and will state, your horses are prepared for you to take, or if you'd like, I can hold them for up to a 6 day for 1 gold.
You said the path wasn't really good for us to travel on horses, so we might want to just let them stay here for safety.
Hold it. I have a gold I could spend. Hold the horses, lad.
Okay.
How far
That's what's there.
are we from the Sacklum?
Walking wise?
Like a half day?
No, a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
If it's
Would it benefit us at all to go horseback up to it and have him bring the horses back?
no, you'd shave off like maybe a
We
half
can't.
hour.
We can't get there with the horses.
I know, we could ride it up to the
Most of
boundary
your
where we'd have to ditch them, and Ben could bring the horses back.
trek is uphill and up
Okay.
mountain. So, that being said, you would note that the stable appears packed, even though the beds are not. It does look like people have pack animals and such, and are kind of pulling them out during the morning time and moving them out for whatever purposes they're going to be utilized for throughout the day. But you exit the town pretty much the way you came in. You would notice now in daylight that you can see that the iron road does run alongside the regular road, gleaming more so than it was kind of in the darkness of night. And it looks like it's brand new. If you've ever seen New Railroad, you know it's exactly what it looks like. Except that I would say that every 10 or so feet there is a strange kind of stone panel that's been laid out over the tracks, but beneath where the rails are at, kind of like a thin stone platform that's been kind of laid out on those. That said, you walk and head up. In this early morning, it's very foggy, and you can already see that as you kind of ascend up the hill / mountain, it's kind of somewhere between the two. You'll be kind of entering into the fog and then kind of usurping over the fog line. But there is signage along the way that denotes kind of where you're headed. Go ahead and give me 1 d20 roll for the random encounter.
Go, Andy.
Okay. And you make your way up with no problem. You see signage that seems to denote where the Sacklum is, but you also note that you're kind of coming up to what appears to be a cliff. And as you kind of come up that cliff, you can now see, like, out over the clouds, you can see, a spire of rock kind of rising up across from where you're at. This rock is strange in that it looks like it has a number of like copper or kind of rusted pipes. It's either copper or rusted. You're not sure. The color is kind of the same from this distance. That are kind of running in and out of the rocky area, kind of up towards this massive building at the top of it. And the building is not too dissimilar from the Saculum in Benish. Much shorter, and instead of having kind of like a single spire coming out of it, it looks like the dome is broken open, like an observatory, and a massive column of metal gears and pipes and lenses is kind of jutting out of that hole, out of the top of it. It's kind of ornately designed with bronze, symbols, arcane symbols, and it looks like there are two massive statues kind of standing outside of the Saculum. They don't appear to be moving. They just appear to be kind of standing there. Now the cliff I mentioned, it looks like it's barring your passage across, but you then see a rope bridge that kind of crosses over, and it looks like someone has deliberately or possibly accidentally knocked out planks from the rope bridge, so there's like a gap in between like every single one of them. The descent is quite massive, and definitely not good. But you folks want to cross the bridge, or keep an eye on it from here?
I don't know, guys. It looks pretty dangerous.
You can fly.
I can fly, so I'm not falling this time.
He also flies, and I can spider climb across the ropes.
I don't know.
Croc, you're our
You
issue
wait.
here.
He's not here. I forgot.
He did step away.
I was gonna say, depending on how much he weighs, my broom might be able to carry us both. Just maybe.
Is the rope bridge present on this map?
Bottom left.
Oh, I see.
We're on it. Looks like we already crossed it. Man, that was easy.
Easiest cross of life.
We are 75% efficient at crossing this busted up bridge.
If, for simplicity's sake, there's really no harm of falling if you take your time. If you want to move across this bridge quickly, that would be potentially dangerous.
No, I think we got time. The two flyers can move ahead and defend
Okay.
Rock and I as we cross.
Is it anybody kind of keeping an eye on the Saculum and kind of focusing on it?
I'll watch especially the stone statues.
Okay. So from what you can see, it does look like there is someone up on the observatory
telescope?
section. Looks like an older person kind of moving about on the pillar. It looks like they're doing something with some sort of tools to it. He is wearing red robes. Red robes not too dissimilar from the ones that Benson wears, or that Shambles wore that one time.
Didn't we steal those robes from bad guys?
The conglomerate robes.
But they were extinct.
The remnants still exist. You've dealt with them before.
While I guess then while me and Campbell's are defending, I'll point that out to them that guy's wearing a robe similar to what him and Vincent wore.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be hiding it. Seems to be very focused on the job at hand. And he's some hundreds of feet away from you guys. Just to kind of put this in context, each layer is probably 20 to 40 feet, depending on the distance. I think the lowest kind of drop off is 20 feet. That'd be that first one you kind of see kind of coming up towards you. But these other ones, they're kind of quite higher, 30 and 40 feet high.
I got help ice. It's fine.
I'll sort of nod about the situation, and I'll try to help secure the bridge from the far side.
I do ignore the birds.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look at those birds.
Oh.
That goat on the side over there.
The
Ultimate sure you can.
you make it to the opposite side. There are a couple of options to ascend. Do you wish to descend down the ladder, make your way around the stairways, and then up the stairways, or do you wish to try and climb the face that you're kind of coming up to at first, and make your way, or do you want to go around the back of the?
I hate to say it since he's gone, but I feel like this should be kind of Grok's question.
I'm here.
Feedback.
So wait, I'm sorry. Help me. Is this a good guy or a bad guy? Do we know?
We
don't know right now.
We're pretty sure he's bad.
He's dressed like a
89%
bad
sure.
guy, but so is Shambles. And this whole place is some shoots and ladders bullshit.
I like it. This is a fun map. Anyway, we're trying to figure out how to ascend. The options are south down the ladder and then around the Safeway.
Really quick, just plug. It's by Sepeku. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Check out their Patreon. Haha, look at me doing commercials. Okay, go ahead.
So ad space for that?
So,
Jeez.
Grok, you're the only one without like a spider climb or a
Or
flight
flying
ability. Granted, you could turn into
I could turn
something.
into something that flies. It's not a big deal.
Well, it's a matter of if you want to for this, but there's a safe way down a ladder and up and around, or it looks like we could actually climb the face of this mountain.
I could
As in, you could climb the face of this mountain.
So Brooklyn, you can fly.
Yeah, I got the broom.
Okay, and you have the boots, Shambles, right?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a strong preference, but I mean, it might be safer to take the stairs. I don't care.
Well, do you
I
want to
would
save a
fly.
spell slot that you might need later, or do you want to fast pass this?
So,
You all make your way kind of onto that balcony you're discussing. Brooklyn, you're still keeping an eye on the mage up top.
Yeah, definitely on the road.
Yeah,
it's not a spell slot. It's just a wild shape. It's my feature.
Okay.
You're pretty sure he's looking back at you.
Alright, guys, I think he knows we're here.
I wave at
So we don't have the element of surprise. Does it make a difference which way we go then?
It's not.
Totally.
If we take the fast way, it might give them less time to prepare if they're enemies.
I waved. Did you wave back?
You see him raise his hand up. You see magic kind of forming and his fingers kind of move. And then he kind of closes his hand in tight. You then see an eye appear in front of you. And it kind of looks at you. From the top of the mountain, you hear a loud booming voice. Like, think Tim the Enchanter, kind of like, levels of just booming voice. And it seems his voice kind of clears out to you. And he yells, "Who are you?"
We were,
The eye snaps its attention to Brooklyn as he starts to speak.
Yeah, you're the one that brought us here.
we were sent by the Brotherhood what is it called?
Synod.
Synod. I got that way wrong. We were sent by the Brotherhood Synod in Finnish to check out what had happened here. They said they had lost contact.
The eye kind of looks down and then kind of looks back at you, and then you hear the voice boom out. "You can return to them and tell them that their brothers have died."
Yeah, but we also have to check on some other things inside. So if you just let us peek around and
You
leave,
do
we
not
can-
have permission.
How have they died?
Leave this place or join them.
You're not being very friendly, man. I'm trying to talk to you here.
The statues start to move.
They're all the way up there.
I'm not worried about
The
this.
doors snap open, and you
I think we
see
haven't fought a statue before.
about 8 or so of chassis, very similar to Shambles, storm out.
As I am now.
Basically, they do look a lot like Juggernauts, yeah.
Same model, huh? Oh, that's true.
Well, not the exact same model. They're not Dwarvish, but yeah.
Mm.
They are the same style, yeah.
Softer stuff. I forgot to long rest.
You
Well,
you should have, though.
I'm not scared. Kind of glanced at the eyeball. You didn't answer the turtle friend there. What happened to your Synod fellas?
They're all dead.
Yeah, but how? Like, is that your fault? I feel like.
Coming clearer and clearer.
What's the weather like up here?
Yelling out. It's hard to exact nuance yelling in this way.
Then don't
Come
yell,
down here and talk to
us.
me.
No,
You wiener.
that sounds dumb. I think it's a bad idea.
I'll come
Of
up
course
there.
you think it's a bad idea. Just come back down
How's,
here.
Don't
how's
make
the
me
weather?
come up there.
Weather's fine, very clear. You would assume that not too far out from it, it'll probably get windier, just as the nature of it. Or the higher you go up, it'll be windier. But that's just the nature of it. It seems that you're kind of the cliff that you kind of came off of looks like it kind of goes up a little bit further, and it's kind of blocking some of the windage. And looks like there's more kind of rocks off to the right as well. So you're kind of in like a little bit of a valley. But it looks like this rises up over the valley, probably somewhere around where that water line is.
With our backs to this bridge, I feel like that thing's gonna break at any second.
Listen, Saruman, we just want to talk.
Dope reference, but no, that's not me. I'm not the leader. I'm just a guy. He doesn't. He doesn't really say. He doesn't really say that.
I'm gonna cast Long Strider on myself.
Okay. The second a spell is cast, the eye shuts, disappears, and just kind of vanishes away. And we need to go ahead and roll initiative. And I need to change the music in a bit.
Come on, you better than that.
I want to see what his robots can do.
That's fair.
I'm all excited.
Look at that roll. Look at that high roll.
I didn't roll with him yet. I just put a token on because I wanted to be sure to get there.
No, I'm talking about making fun of my own bad roll.
Okay.
Oh no, you're right where we want you. You're doing
Okay.
your job.
Pulling up the rear.
All right.
Where is our Brooklyn?
Hey, I got a 16. Let's go.
Brooklyn, rather.
Nice.
You're first on the initiative.
That is a rarity.
Indeed.
Didn't have my
Yeah.
A game today.
I guess I'll just. Well, did we ever decide if we were just gonna fly up to him, or are we gonna take the long path?
Follow your heart, bud.
Follow
Yeah, I
my
gotta
heart.
walk. I have to walk. So.
I'm gonna, I guess. Let's see.
I think we
Range
should
on my
first of
room.
all stay together.
Oh, sorry. One last point I want to make sure. They all kind of come out and stop, and then the combat begins. And right as the combat begins, like cinematically, kind of scopes around the area, and all of the robots start kind of just walking in place for no reason. This is a dorky reference that I get, and it's for me. Oh, do you get it?
No.
Pretty sure.
Final
I
Fantasy
can't
Tactics.
remember the name. Huh?
Final Fantasy Tactics.
No, never
Okay,
mind.
Never mind.
I thought it was March of the Wooden Soldiers.
I'm not used to going first, so
Babes in Toyland.
Or
I
Babes
just,
in Toilet, that's the one.
I'll
Same-
just
same
fly
movie.
up.
Yeah, okay,
and
thank you.
then in line with like that cliff right there, like where I could just get over to it if I wanted to. I'm just gonna set like real close to it.
Yeah, so when it comes to movement, it's 20 feet up from that cliff, or to that cliff surface. So that's what it'll be. The one directly above that, the next cliff that you'll be looking at, that's 30 feet up.
Gotcha.
And then the last one is 40 feet up. So, Brooklyn, you are done? Are you
Yeah.
take? Okay.
I just take the with dodge action. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Zooming in. That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the dash action. I'm gonna run up the side of the hill,
Okay.
and I'll bonus action hide beneath
Okay.
the cliff face.
So you're kind of like tucked underneath.
Yeah.
Okay. You definitely feel like something's watching you.
Is it the eyeball?
You're pretty sure that even though it disappeared, it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You see him kind of raise his hands up, and kind of fire emanates from his hands. He kind of starts weaving it in a pattern, and then pushes it forward. And as he does so, you see an eye kind of appear in front of his hands, and he pushes the mode of fire into the eye's iris. Then you see the eye appear kind of translucent where it was before, looking over at Shambles and Grok. And then the fireball emanates out of its iris, slamming in between those two and detonating. I would like a...
Oh, does it reach us both? Man.
Boy,
Thanks.
I'm glad I'm not standing on a wooden bridge right now.
Well, no, neither is Grok. He should actually be across it, because I said you were all across.
Oh, okay.
please be off the
Burn
bridge.
the bridge out from under.
Andy, please be off the bridge. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So it'll detonate for you two. So 2 of you need to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Sorry, Andy.
Here, hold on a second here.
That's okay.
Oh, I didn't do great.
Could I do absorb elements as a reaction?
Yeah.
Zach, you have your evasion.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll take half no matter what.
Yeah, he'll take half. It's fine.
And let's see what I do.
So we'll
I failed.
okay. So you'll both take half.
What was the save? Just out of curiosity.
Hold on a second. DC 50.
I hope that was 15.
I hope so too.
15. 15. Sorry. Yeah.
God, did not enunciate the end at the end.
We are leaving now.
Okay. So you both take 11 points of fire damage. The thing you note, though, is when the detonation hits, it blasts the 2 posts off of the mountainside, and the rope bridge, scalding in flame, goes flying towards the other side of the cliff.
I don't think he wants us to leave.
Man, I feel like I graduated from the University of fucking Golem.
You then watch the large construct jump,
Get out of here. I don't want you here. Oh, burn down the only exit.
just pick up off the ground, slam down on the cliff face, looking down at you two. Raya, you kind of peek up over it, hearing that sound, and you can see the stone golem kind of standing on the edge, kind of perched, like superhero Spider-Man pose. Yeah. The other one descends down the steps in a more traditional fashion, just and stops kind of at that opening. All right, let's see. And then the 8 kind of remain positioned there. They all raise their swords to the sky, and you kind of see a gleam kind of appear at the tips of them, and they seem to be kind of channeling something, but they all just stand there. All right.
But after that,
Shambles.
Power. Left him inside too long.
We gotta charge up. No, it's not that. It seems to be something very strange. But you can't really see them, so I won't allow an Arcana check from anybody yet.
That's fine.
I don't think anyone else is trained in Arcana around here. Maybe. Oh, okay. Cool.
I got it.
All right, half of us are trained in Arcana.
Yeah.
Big
Big
deal.
deal.
We're trying to stay together.
Well, I mean, we don't want to get too far apart, but what do your thing?
You do you.
I'm gonna get way too far. I'm gonna step away, dash,
Okay.
get behind this fella,
All right.
and I'm gonna hit him.
Push.
Oh, I can't do the push if I step on the winded thing. Oh well, I'm just gonna slash at him with a sword a couple times.
Okay.
16 and 20.
16 misses, 20 hits.
Huh.
14 damage.
1 second. All right. Scratches the back of him. He's still kind of perched like he is. His head turns 180 degrees and kind of snaps, kind of looking at you. The eyes flare kind of purple. Gruck,
Yeah. If I were to move to this,
you bonus action step into the window. I was like, "Where's the flurry?" Sorry,
That's what I was saying. I was
used
hoping
to
to make something cool happen.
apologies. 165 degrees. Sorry, to be more accurate. Thank you, Jeremy. But I'm used to
I typed it to not distract the game.
I'm used to a cavalcade of Zach, and I just didn't get it. So I was like, wait, there should be more Zach. So anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Andy.
Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say that. So if I'm traveling, this is a switchback here.
No, that goes.
It's a solid cliff face with
That's
a
a solid
pipe
cliff
going up.
face. This goes around the back.
Round the back. Okay.
You're gonna want to Wonder Twins this bad boy. Form of a giant eagle.
Shape of still a robot.
No, I
If
don't
you-
want to get too far in front of everybody at the moment.
If you want to go the traditional route,
You
you're
are
going to go
not.
down this ladder, and then you're going to go all the way around here, up these steps, up these steps, up these steps to the door.
Right.
Maybe just follow Shambles.
Yeah, maybe I'll just follow Shambles. Okay.
And something about a fire kitty.
The
Yep.
the cliff face does not look like it's going to be too terribly hard to climb if, regular climbing is something you guys are ever going to do. Looks like Brooklyn probably...
Never again.
So yeah,
We are so over that.
I'll move to
What a
here,
thrill.
and I'll start climbing.
Okay. How much speed did you move?
I have 35, so I've got 25 left. Does that get me there?
Yep. Well, it won't get you up. So 25, you don't have a climb speed. Having 25, rounding up 15, you'll be right at the. Basically, you're going to need 10 more feet of movement to get up to the top.
Okay.
But you're there.
You're about parallel with Raya.
Just a little
head
behind.
down, just in case.
Go ahead and make a athletics check to see if the climbing happened. It's not a hard DC. You shouldn't fail. You didn't fail. You can't fail. Sorry, I didn't know you had a plus 10. 10 was the DC for that climb.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right.
Not often you get to see a crit fail that succeeds.
Not too often you see a critical fumble fail. Yeah, or succeed.
Jesus.
On the rock.
But there's no crit fails or successes on. Anyways,
No, I get you.
Brooklyn.
Well, I'm more shocked at this point that Grok has more movement speed than me.
He dashed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Been practicing.
Yeah, he's been learning from the fastest.
That's right. Yeah.
Horse stance has a
I
purpose.
think my broom only has like what 30 feet of movement since or
Yeah, it's 30 feet of
yeah
movement.
30 feet since I'm overweight.
Yeah.
So I'll just scoot up to like this part of the cliff, like right here, and then I'll just kind of take the dodge action again. That way.
Okay. How high up
Fly
are you?
it. I'm probably just like because I was right at the cliff edge, and that was 20 feet, so 10 feet up.
Okay. Ryan.
The second cliff is 40 feet tall. Is that correct?
The next one will be 30. The last one's 40. So it'll go 20, 30, 40.
30. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bonus
this-
action
It's
dash
not
from where I am. Go ahead.
okay. It's not terribly important, but these sub cliffs are 20, and then these little subs are 10. If you want to tier it, go ahead.
Straight line. I'll take a bonus action dash. I'll get up here adjacent to this thing and stab it from below off the cliff face.
Okay,
26 to hit.
that'll work.
And this is a non-humanoid.
It is a non-humanoid. It is a
So
it is a construct.
Plus 14 on the sneak.
24. Okay. You kind of lance it in the ankle. You can see the cracks kind of form in the stone. It's still kind of just perched there. Its head's kind of turned full circle. It doesn't seem to snap its head back.
It can't come back the same way it already went.
And it just snaps its neck and falls off.
Just keep making them look left. The head will fall off.
Reminded me of Golden. Golden Boy. That reminded me.
Light bulb.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Raya done.
Yeah.
Okay. The evoker will then act, and so will his unit. You see him kind of place his hand on the eye he has in front of him, kind of spin it, and then move it to the side. Grok, your passive perception is high enough. You see the kind of glass-like structure of the arcane eye kind of float up, kind of behind where Brooklyn is. You then watch as the eye kind of focuses in on Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, go ahead and make me a charisma saving throw.
This guy's got charisma for days.
28.
There it is.
Damn it.
Success. You feel like the spell's not so much affecting you, but affecting the thing you're holding. And there's a kind of weird wobbling moment as the broom kind of falters underneath you, but you kind of focus your will on it. You gotta work. And you don't manage to get knocked off. It feels like he's doing something to the broom to kind of mess with it. You see him kind of annoyedly kind of go, and kind of raise his fingers up, and then he kind of moves his left hand away from it, and it seems like he's kind of gesturing, but these seem to be very specific. They don't look like they're spell movements. They look like they're. It's almost like someone typing at a computer. Yeah, as he does so, you watch the stone golem that's currently engaged kind of stand up a bit, spin its upper body, throwing its hand out towards Shambles, and as that's happening, its foot, not the one that was stabbed, but the other one, kicks straight into Raya and the ground that he's kind of holding onto. So yeah, first attack against Shambles. Come on, roll. Okay, there we go. 24 to hit Shambles.
It's
15 damage. And you're knocked back 5 feet. And then the kick.
Oh,
27 to hit.
yeah.
18 damage, and you're knocked back 5 feet. So you were knocked out with the rock that he's kicking. You then fall. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
you got this.
21.
You kind of and like see the rock bounce off of it, kind of grab onto it Spider-Man style, flip off of it last second, and hit the pipe directly where you're at, kind of rolling down beside it. So you're diagonally back 5 feet, but you are on that pipe.
Got it. Nailed it.
All right, and you take no damage for the fall.
Full send.
Because the damage I rolled was less than, yeah. Good. And that is that. The other one picks up a rock and moves to here. It looks like it picked it up off of this
No.
rocky wall here. It then
Classic
throws
move.
the rock
Oh, okay.
at Rooklyn. I know you. Throw a rock at you. You're like, what up? Heck no.
I was gonna ask how big was the rock.
It's
That's
pretty.
a tricky angle.
It's a pretty big rock. It's throwing it at Rooklyn, who's about 10 feet, so it's throwing it down the steps, kind of. And
I see it.
Yeah, Rooklyn is about 10 feet off the ground, he said. That's why I asked specifically. Height. 29 hits. So yeah, the rock slams into you and deals 26 points of bludgeoning damage. But you're kind of like grappled onto the broom and like as it breaks across you, and you're just like, ah! There's like dust and everything kind of in the air, but still a hovering half-orc in plate armor on a broom. Yeah, the ones at the door, you see their swords still up in the air, kind of glowing more bright white. You don't know for sure what's going on there, but that's what's happening. And that's it for them. Shambles, you're up.
The one that Raya and Shambles have attacked, how's it looking? Pretty sturdy, I
It's
imagine.
pretty sturdy, yeah. That you would assume that they're probably in the neighborhood of like 150, 200 hit points, so just trajectory map it out from there.
I'm gonna focus on him then. I'll close back in and give him a full.
Do you want to knock them off? Oh, never mind.
No!
Go ahead and Sophia's sword drops down to fine quality.
Okay. I'll write that down. Second attack is a 16, I think, hit, or misses.
Basically just glancing off of it.
Wow.
Slam your fist, kind of looking at it, and then bring in the next fist and kind of, with the sword still in hand, kind of slam there. Actually managing to get a crack. Go ahead and roll damage for that last one.
Yep.
Okay. 10 damage. Alright. Any tricks?
Yeah, I did hit with one. I'm gonna try to knock him.
Okay. Do I need to roll anything?
Let me double check, sorry.
Sure.
Oh my god. Dexterity save.
Okay. Yeah.
15 or higher.
And you're knocking him prone?
Yes.
So basically, you come in with a sword. It's breaking against the stone. You come in with a sweep to the leg and hit it, and you kind of like rear back, not doing anything to it. Then you kind of sweep around in the other direction, Mortal Kombat style, hit it in its legs, and it manages to slip out. You believe that it's more from like where you hit it precisely, and also the wetness of the stone here that caused it to slip and fall. But yeah, you do end up basically rearing it down into the ground. It's prone.
Hey.
Grok.
I'm going to take, so it's 10 feet up, so that's 20 feet of total movement, right?
No. It's 10 feet of movement. Sorry, 5 feet up.
Oh, it's 5 feet, so 10 feet of movement, so I have 50 left, so I can get to right here. I think this is where I want to be right now.
Okay. And do you take in? That's dashing. You said.
And that's a dash, yeah.
Okay, Brooklyn.
Hug that wall.
I'm gonna fly the rest of the way up to where Shambles is.
Okay. You have
Off the room.
You have a broom in hand at current, and I assume your shield, so you can draw your weapon.
Sweep him up.
Sword and swing.
Okay. There's like a large spark kind of flying off of it as it just glances across the stone.
He has advantage. He's prone.
So then why do you say 17? 23 hits, yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. I forgot. Yeah.
I wasn't looking at the thing.
I thought you were looking at the numbers.
No, sorry.
You called out 17.
Yeah, sorry. No, I forgot.
23 and 27 will hit.
Yeah, that's why I always call out for the. Not only is it good for the stream, so like when I'm watching it back, or if someone's I know it's being done. It's also great because when I'm multitasking and planning for the next thing or the next encounter, like while we're doing this, it's easier for me. But yeah, the first one hits.
And 11 damage.
The second one hits as well. So okay.
25.
All right, slash. It seems to be pretty sturdy and laying there. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back up this cliff to where I was before.
So David Bowie it just.
Whack this guy with a knife.
All right. Yeah, that'll work.
Ooh, nice. 34 total damage.
Okay, so as you kind of spin the blade, kind of getting up there and kind of wrench it into his stomach, you watch as a mass of this kind of greenish liquid kind of starts spewing out from it, and then it starts kind of strangely changing color to a reddish color. And the reddish color that's coming out looks very similar to when you've seen Shambles get wounded and his vitae kind of spraying out. It's not...
Is the green similar to the other stuff we found?
Yes.
Acid stuff?
The Orvo is what it's called. Correct.
Smegma? Slagma? Neat.
Yeah,
so these are stone use. Now I'm going to bonus action hide.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
28 to hide.
Okay. As you kind of like stealth and you're up against the rock, you kind of look around and you see the eye looking straight at you. It kind of turns its attention from where it was pointed at Brooklyn.
Nah, I'm in the dust class from where that rock
You know what?
was.
I love it, and I'm going to allow it. That works. There's still kind of like a lingering amount of dust and blood spray, so you're just kind
I'm a
of
wood elf.
hiding.
You look so far down your nose that your chin disappeared.
So the eye kind of turns its attention to the back of Brooklyn, and
Yeah, fuck that guy up.
yeah, he kind of angrily said, and it seems like his voice is still being magnified, and he says, "Brute force it is then." And as he says that, he raises his hand up and kind of pulls it inward like this. As that's happening, you watch as a massive blue hand of force appears in between you and the stone golem, Brooklyn, and slam towards you. Go ahead and make... I'm grappling you, so go ahead and make a athletics check or acrobatics check, your choice. Because you are medium or smaller, I have advantage on the check.
Got this, buddy.
Oh, I got 15. I don't got this.
He
It
stepped off the bridge.
grabs a hold of you, moves you 5 feet, and then opens its hand. You take 2d6 plus 5, so that'd be a total of 11 points of damage, and then as you fall,
I don't fall anymore.
30 feet. So... Oh, that's really bad. Only 7 points of falling damage, but you are prone in that space.
Can
As
he
it-
just gain resistance to falling damage?
Right. He's already got it.
I rolled really bad on that one. So.
He's so practiced in falling down.
He knows exactly how to land on his head.
I'm so sorry. It's like that the hand, it goes there, flies out 5 feet, and then drops him. I will be putting the hand on the map, but the hand is now present. And it seems to be a spell that the wizard up top is concentrating on.
Now on, we're only fighting on just flat land at this point. We're no longer taking fights near cliffs.
Ruckman refuses to climb anything.
This is where I was meant to be, on the ground. I'm taking the whole fight.
All right. The stone golem, only with one target now, turns its attention kind of like spinning. When it fell, its head ended up pointing downwards. The head spins first, then the arms kind of slam down on the ground to kind of crack Crater's form where it hits. But the force of the blows kind of lift it up to standing. And then as it's kind of coming up, its arms rotate upwards like this and then drop down towards Shambles. Um, 26 and 22.
Both hit.
43 points of damage total. And you are thrown back 5 feet.
43, you said?
Mm-hmm. And for mechanic purposes, actually move back 10 feet and I'll move forward 5 feet. It would have hit you with the first blow and then reared in with the second blow. Alright. The ones up top, their swords glow even more brightly. It's now almost like sun-like radiance. As you're thrown back out of the shadow of the stone golem and you're the only person kind of looking in that direction, you see this shadow kind of glint in the corner of your eye. You kind of look in the direction of the sun, and you're pretty sure you see a boat-like structure hundreds of feet away up in the sky, kind of just lingering up in the heavens.
I do? Shambles?
Yeah, you're the only one who's kind of looking in that direction right now. So yeah, you kind of are knocked out of the shadow of the golem, and are kind of like, the sun kind of catches your eyes for a second, and when you look back at it, there's like a boat kind of floating in the air in that direction.
Hmm.
Well, that can't be good. The conglomerate's known for having skyships.
Oh, yeah. One problem at a time.
Speaking of falling damage, I'm so sorry, Cypress. I'm so sorry.
Cypress was a cool character.
That was a little bit my fault.
I don't mind it.
Did you
I'm
become a
over it.
tree?
Shambles, you're up, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step in.
And yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I gotta focus this guy down.
Yep.
And we're gonna sword him. 23.
I hit the ground so hard that he seated himself.
9 damage on the first attack. We're going to flurry of blows. 27.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and give the.
Does
dex
anybody want to
save
throw
again.
inspiration for the crit or no?
Oh, I've got it. I hit him with that. Haha.
There you go. Give me a total damage so far.
9 plus 9 is 18. 30, 43, 49 total?
Okay. Are you doing anything else with your attacks?
I was gonna try to knock him prone with that, but if he's dead, that seems superfluous.
No, you're not. You haven't killed him.
Okay, I'm knocking him prone, and I've got one more unarmed attack. I just
Okay.
wanted advantage on.
And it was
15 dex.
Got it. Yep.
He
Nope.
doesn't seem dexterous.
He's not. He falls to the
Oh,
ground.
15s. Double 15s.
Yep.
Whiffed it. Tried
Okay.
for an uppercut.
So you kind of like come in with the sword, slash, and the second slash kind of gets in there. More of that red gust kind of throws out at you, and as you kind of come up with a knee, you kind of slam into him. It throws him back, and you kind of come up with an uppercut at that point, but he flies back too fast for you to catch him, slamming onto the ground again. All right,
Finish this guy off.
Grok, you are the one that is up.
Yep. So I can get to here. How much is it to climb this little bit here?
Okay. As you come up the stairs and kind of come around the way, you see the one at the top of the stairs holding a rock, and he's ready in action to throw it at the first person to come up the steps,
That'll be me.
and he chucks it straight at you.
Atta boy, Grog.
That hits 27. So
Sure.
28 points of bludgeoning damage as the rock slams into you, kind of bounces off of you, and then rolls down the steps.
Okay.
But yeah,
So in any case, how much is it to climb up this bit?
5, 10, 15, 20.
20. Okay.
Should be space for space. It looks like it's 25 actually. If you're wanting to get adjacent to the golem, if you want to move.
No. I wanted to climb.
Oh, climb. Oh, sorry, 10 feet.
Super. 25. So that actually works. I can get right there. And then I'm just gonna do my wildfire spirit.
Okay. Grok done.
So I'm gonna place the spirit.
You should be able to pull it and drop it.
Should be able to.
Oh, so Brock took that rock like a champ.
Right there. And it needs to make. I'm gonna guess that it's not super dexterous.
Yeah, but it also affects your allies.
Wait, there,
What are you doing?
There you go.
30 feet. So it needs to make a dex save against my spell DC, which I believe is.
And it's prone, so it's a disadvantage against that. Yeah, so go ahead
Yeah,
and
so
roll,
a 16.
roll damage.
What kind of space is that hand occupying?
10 foot.
Oh, it's still there.
So it takes 7 fire damage.
Okay.
And I get back 7 now because of my enhanced bond.
Cool. Grok done, Brooklyn up.
Oh, he's got a phone call.
Okay.
Sorry about that, my mom.
You're good.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up, which take 15 feet, and then my broom is gonna like hop up and land on my broom and just fly back up to the top.
Yep. Okay, so
And I'm
you
gonna swing at this one that's prone. 'Cause
Got
I'm
it.
19,
miss.
27.
That'll work.
I'm gonna divine smite on that one.
Okay.
So
You kind of jump onto the broom.
22 damage. Or
oh.
20, yeah, 21 damage.
Oh, I'm gonna allow it, but there's a lot of nuance there that we skipped. So you jump onto the broom and kind of manhandle it with your shield hand, like holding on just barely tightly. Fly up with sword still in hand, leap off, jump down, slam into it with the first blow, kind of spin the blade back up, and then bring it down with a loud popping radiant burst. Yeah, that'll destroy the golem. Its space is now difficult terrain.
Oh, but I thought with the broom I didn't have to like hold on to
You
it. It's
have.
like I could speak a command and it could just like ride it.
Don't you have to hold it?
I didn't think
It
you
needs-
could hold it with your
It
hand.
needs to be between his legs. It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
specifically say you have to hold on to it.
Yeah, if it doesn't say that, it doesn't say that. I'm thinking Harry Potterian.
Yeah, I got you.
That's fine. Cool. That's Brooklyn's up. Any movement from you or no?
That's it.
flew.
I used everything.
Okay. Rye, you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna move away from this hand up and around fire spirit.
Okay.
Noticing the sky.
Sorry, real quick. That water is actually not really easy to traverse. The first 5 feet in, no problem. The next 5 feet, you're dropping 10 feet, unless you're walking across it.
Ring of water walking.
That's the one I wanted to hear.
Right across the top.
I just want to make sure everyone else, if you see Raya
I
doing
did not
something,
know you did that.
Gotta be hilarious when they followed me.
fair.
Come on, guys. Water's fine.
I'm gonna say we should just bypass this and get to the top, so we can knock out that wizard and defend ourselves from the inside. Because holy shit, what's this sky ship doing here?
Oh, you don't see it.
From up here, I should.
Well, you're not really looking at it. You're focused on the job at hand, right?
No, if he's dead, I'm looking up,
Oh, it's not up. It's
telling them.
that way.
It's out west.
So no one's looking to the left. The only reason Shambles was is because of his positioning.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna continue bypassing these guys.
No
With
worries.
that thing
everybody else
dead, I
can
would
go.
be like, hey, look at that.
Yeah. So once Brooklyn points and then okay, you see it. It's not close. It's closer to 1,000 feet out.
I'm gonna be right under the edge of this thing here on the action dash, then I'll bonus hide.
Okay.
29.
Okay. All right. The evoker will, through the eye, kind of focused in on that group. You watch as a mote gets formed in his hand. He points it into his eye. You see it appear out of the eye, which is behind Brooklyn, and detonate in a space that it'll hit not only Brooklyn and Shambles, Grok, and also the Fire Spirit. I know the Fire Spirit doesn't care, but
All right, so give any fucks about that.
fair. Dexterity saving throws from a lot of you.
Do we get any bonuses because we're near Brooklyn?
Everybody around me gets a +2.
If you're adjacent or within 10, you're outside.
He has a highlight.
I am
around him.
outside of it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't feel bad. I only got a 6, so you can't do worse than me.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Nice.
Brooklyn, Shambles,
So to him.
you
Cold shot.
I'm going to use a reaction to use absorb elements.
Okay.
That doesn't matter.
So then you'll take half. Half is 15. Shambles, you take none. Brooklyn, you take 30. All right. And the golem across the way will charge. Not charge, but move very fast. Straight towards Shambles. You watch as the first fist comes in, and the second fist comes in as well. But the first fist is a very traditional kind of straight punch, whereas the left hand seems to kind of go around the back. The torso spins, and it kind of throws the arm out in kind of like a scythe-like pattern at you. So the first attack, even though you see it coming, the speed in which it extends is like, what? Because 28 probably hits 23, and then the second blow, 27. So 23 points of damage. So it would be 23 points of damage twice.
23 twice. Okay.
Yeah, so 46.
There you go.
All right.
I'm looking bad, but that's okay.
If you're looking bad, okay. How is Brooklyn looking?
Looking surrounded by robots.
What?
Very sad that he
Beep, bop,
failed
beep,
even though
bop,
he's got his balloon.
So disengage and get to the top.
As you're kind of focusing inward, you see these kind of bright pops.
They won't stop coming down.
And
Stop.
all of them kind of like drop their swords at the same time for you, Raya. You watch as when they do so, an almost Misty Step-like effect kind of appears, and they all disappear and appear adjacent to those that they're fighting. Immediately at that, you watch as the Big V's hand comes from behind Brooklyn and grapples him. Go ahead and make another athletics check versus me.
Neat.
23.
Success. So you manage to kind of duck and push it back out, getting the digits off you. And this is just as the other golems are coming in with their attacks. These undaunted sword bearers. The thing you notice now that you're close to them is the swords aren't being held. Their hands are swords.
Badass.
We need to get Shambles that upgrade.
Take an eye out.
Cool hands. I could admire something and not want it for myself.
But I want it for you, so. I would just love to see people's reaction if you just walk up to them, go to shake their hand and it's a sword.
First two attacks, first two sets of attacks are going to be against the Wildfire Spirit. What's its AC?
Its AC is 13. It has 40 hit points.
Hit. You said 40?
Okay.
40.
It's dead.
It is dead. Oh,
The
fiery.
next series of attacks will be against Brooklyn. You do not have disadvantage, so I only hit you... Or they don't have advantage, so I only hit you once. With a crit. That's the only way I could have hit you.
I'm immune to crits.
Well,
Damage-wise.
yeah, I know. It's just an auto hit is what I mean. It's going to be 8,
Yeah, I was just letting you know.
8 points of damage. It would have been 9 if I got that crit damage.
Save myself from that.
Yeah, you could have got... Yeah, that would have been it. Then a bunch of attacks against the Shambles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 22 is the only one I think that hits.
Okay.
And that'll be for 5 slashing. And then the ones against Croc. 3, 4. 20 hits, right? Croc? Or no?
correct. Yes, it hits.
So that'll be 2 for you. 5 and 7. So 12 for you total. Okay. Since you were hit by 2 of the same one, though, when it hits, you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Rock.
Yep.
Okay. 19.
More than enough. It seems that these blades are very biting, and so it seems to be attacking twice at the same point, as if it's trying to kind of implement a wound upon you. But you seem to kind of deal with the blow, no problem. That said, we're going to, because time, stop here. Let's focus on the things that have concentration in effect. I believe Bigby's hands is the only thing.
Yep.
Okay.
He killed Grok's fox thing.
Yeah, I
Grok's
murdered
fox.
it.
Murdered it. I'm bringing it back.
That's fine. Yeah. But yeah, if that's the case, we will begin next session at this turn in the initiative, which means that it'll be Shambles' turn in the initiative. Note it.
Okay.
And we will continue the combat from here. But
Are we
yeah,
playing next week? Is next week Mother's Day?
I'm cool with playing on Mother's Day.
Yeah,
I won't be available.
Okay.
I don't think I would be either.
I thought
in
no, I
that
thought,
case.
I thought next weekend was Memorial
The
Day.
9th is Mother's Day. It's not Mother's Day.
Yeah, next.
It's not
week
next
is-
week.
Yeah, next
No,
weekend
it's
is
the 9th.
Memorial Day.
Okay.
That's the only
Okay, I
thing.
should be fine with next week.
Yeah, I'm
All
good
right.
next week.
Okay.
I'm
I could have
good.
sworn it was next week.
Sounds good. Then we'll pick up next week with the rest of this engagement. Thanks for watching and killing the stream.